It is July 12th, 2021. This is Atlanta United FC Weekly, a Home Before Dark podcast. That was one of the better ones we've had. Thank you guys for tuning in on this this rainy, thunderstormy Monday evening. I am Tim Herb, as always.
Wait, Dan, are we matching?
Eagle Rare?
Smoke Wagon.
Oh, so close. Very
Smoke
close
Wagon sounds like that sounds like a, what do you call it? Innuendo? Like a like something you would find on Urban Can somebody look up Smoke Wagon on Urban Dictionary? Tell me what it says. As always, I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Mr. Kevin Bradley, over to my right on the screen, and Mr. Dan James down at the bottom of the screen. Thank you guys for tuning in. You guys already know what they're sipping. I'm sipping on the classic Kroger Blackberry Citrus Spicy Water. It is absolutely a classic. It's hard to top. Yeah. Thank you guys. If you guys are watching us on YouTube, if you are not subscribed, which we know some of you guys from looking at the statistics are not subscribed, make sure you hit the subscription button, the notification bell icon, set the reminders. We set the podcast live stream schedule every Monday before we go live, so you guys can hit that little reminder, let you guys give you guys that little nudge to come join us and all the fine folks in the trap. If you guys are listening to us on Apple Podcasts the day after, leave us a rating and or a review. Helps us get found by other folks. Spread the word. Spread the, I don't want to say gospel. That sounds wrong to say. But spread the fun. Let everybody know. And if you leave us a rating and or a review, we will read the review live on the show, no matter what it says.
Spread the fun. Now, that sounds more like innuendo.
Sounds pretty straightforward to me. I don't think you're beating around any bush there, Dan. How you guys feeling today?
Beating around the bush.
I feel fine. Dan's the one that I'm concerned about right now.
I did not have a good day today. I really tried. So after 28-3, and me and my wife discussed this because we had some people over to watch the game. And she was like, I don't want you to be cranky if England lose. And I'm like, I'll try my best. But I think I did okay. I mean, I was trying to be upbeat. Like my kids were around me, so which is always fun. And when things really get me down, I just try and focus on the things that I'm grateful for. So like I write a list.
Here. That's why you're here with us. We're
well, I mean, this is all anticipation.
It's coming home before dark.
It's
coming home before dark, as Elliot Beaven said.
Elliot Beaven, early to the trap to drop that gem. It's coming home before
wonderful.
Dark. We need a shirt. We need a shirt for that.
Yeah, that is awesome. Yeah, I was really disappointed. Yes, Kendrick Brock, I'm surprised Dan is here. My British colleagues at work called out today. I was very tempted to call out. A couple of people at work are asking me if I was off of Suicide Watch, and I said no, I am still on it. So, but I mean, it was a great Euros, right? I was kept trying to tell myself that I was happy that England have made it to the final. We beat Germany 2-0, to go through all of this and to get there. And I guess it was just too good to be true to expect to win the final. But man, it was a real gut punch to lose it in the manner that we did on penalties.
Better to lose 1-1 in penalties than lose 5-0, right?
Yeah, I mean, so to your point, Kev,
some sort of Atlanta United logic there.
I think if we'd have got thrashed like 5-0 or something, then England wouldn't be seen potentially as one of the top teams. And now people are talking a lot about England being like a major player for the World Cup, which is next year. So that's good, pretty good timing. And I'd gladly trade a Euro for a World Cup, obviously.
That's interesting. Is it just the prestige? Because I've always felt like and I think we maybe have talked about this. I feel like the Euro is a harder competition to win than the World Cup is. Just because of how much talent is.
Yeah, it's how much talent, and then the groups are a lot more difficult because you don't have the group stages that are so watered down with subpar competition because it's on a global stage. However, I would think that winning the World Cup would be more prestigious because it is against every country in the world, right? Like,
well, I feel like, you have all the top teams in Europe in there usually.
Right.
And then you've got Brazil, Argentina in there,
Right.
And Africa always throws up a decent team for one of the countries in there. So I'd say it's
no mention of USMNT. I like it.
Yeah, you have to make the World Cup, but like but like what I'm getting at, I guess, is like you have teams like Italy. Italy didn't make the World Cup in 2018 or 20. What are we at now? 2018, right?
28. No, it'd be 2016, wouldn't it? Because it was 2020. Oh no, I'm sorry, 2018. What am I talking about?
Yeah. 2018 World Cup 2018. Damn it, these years, and it's all going to get so screwed up because of COVID. Yeah, thanks, COVID. That's why we're sticking with the years. But like anyway, I just think there are teams that are really talented that get left off of the Euro. But then you have teams like Saudi Arabia who are almost always in the World Cup, or Iran, Iraq. Like the Middle Eastern teams always end up, I don't know, never causing that much of a threat. Whereas I don't know, you have top tier Euro teams that don't make it. I mean, I'm looking at the England team, and I can't remember who said that to me, but I tweeted out something to the effect of like, can we stop questioning Gareth Southgate? And that's kind of coming back to haunt. But I mean, I feel like he's done such a good job of stabilizing that squad, and you have one. And honestly, like the players that he brought on, to say that to me, like bringing guys on cold to take PKs, like I don't know that there's that much of an issue with that, to be honest. And Rashford's like 6 inches from a absolutely perfect penalty shot, like from banging it in off the post, which I don't know.
I mean, my one frustration about Southgate is after we scored the first, we didn't just step on their throats. We needed to just annihilate them at that point, but we didn't. We let it, we sat back, we kind of let them back in the game. We let them back in the game for like probably 40 minutes until they actually until they got their really scrappy goal. I mean, come on, that was awful, but I mean, doesn't matter, it still counts.
And how was Giorgio Chiellini not sent off for horse collar tackling Saka? No, seriously, I don't understand that, because to me that's more violent content. And whatever, you might call me soft for saying that, but that's like, you can easily injure somebody doing that. Like he could have, like if you look at how Alex DeJohn, who we'll talk about later, broke his elbow, like that very could have easily happened to Saka on that challenge. And you can't tell me that is equivalent to like a tactical foul, stopping a breakaway in the middle of the pitch, like just putting a foot out in front of somebody or like hip checking them. Yeah,
I think, so I guess tugging a shirt can get you a yellow, but in the manner that it happened and because it strangled Saka, I feel like it's a red, because if you'd have got your hand and wrapped your hand around his neck and pulled him back,
that's equivalent of what you're doing with that amount of force. Yeah,
right. You're just grasping at straws. I'm biased. I think it was a red. I think because it wasn't a dog, so that it was just a yellow. But I know. I thought that was awful. I thought Jorginho should have got sent off as well when he basically stamped on Grealish. But I mean, it's just sour grapes now. I'm trying to move on after a kind of down day. But I mean, I guess in the balance, when you total up everything throughout the game, I mean, Italy ended up, I think, the better team. Unfortunately, so I think they deserve to win it in the end, and they've been fantastic throughout the entire tournament. Sometimes you just got to get luck with cards, luck on penalties. Donnarumma's, jeez, man, he's a giant.
Was he like 7'5"? something like that.
7'5". I mean, and plus he's like 600 pounds of muscle as well. Yeah. To see him when he won it, just to walk off to not even celebrate, I was like, oh, jeez, man. I mean, it's like it really just, put the whip into you and then just left you like you were nothing. But yeah, I was really disappointed. I think, and to be honest with you, I mean, I feel like you can't even talk about this without bringing up the disgraceful way a portion of the England fans reacted and the racism that's come out of it. And then I feel like you can't go anywhere without talking about it now. I listened to a few podcasts like Talk Sport and The Guardian, and a bunch of them were saying how this is just going to show you how England are not going to get a World Cup bid anytime soon, just because of this. I think they're going for
2030 with
2030
Ireland, right?
With Ireland. Yeah, I mean, hopefully, like in 8 years or 9 years, that you think they would have tried to push it out. But I mean, you look at the track record of the past, 200 years, and no one's there. I feel like there have been some leaps recently, but it's still just, I mean, it's just pervasive in the game, and the idiots that are going to portray this stuff are just, it's very difficult to identify them and get rid of them. But I think it's a process that has to be done. It's disgraceful. It really ruins it. I mean, it left like a sour taste in my mouth after seeing all of that, after the really, I mean, heroic performances that England have put in on the field, such a young squad, the pressure that they've faced throughout the tournament, and just coming down to penalties was when the pressure really got to us, I think. So great for the future, though. I'm very interested in the future and how these guys develop and how Southgate can continue on. And I think this is just a learning experience for him. I think it's a learning experience for the whole team. So, we'll just win the World Cup next year.
Fair enough. All right, back to business.
Yeah, I would be remiss
Music City
if I did not call out the Trap faithful, because I skipped over it. Elliot Beaven, Brittany S., Chiefs coach Steve, Gabe Laha, Stephen Perales, Landon Schultz, Kendrick Brock, Bradley D, a.k.a. Kevin Bradley D, Max Plays Games 492, Anthony Neitzel coming in from hot Portland. But yes, Music City. What do you got, Kevin?
Well, I hope it's the nail in the coffin for Cubo Torres. Can we all agree on that?
Oh, I hope so.
I'm surprised he didn't start smiling after the handball. I think that's the first time he's made a play and didn't come up smiling afterwards after doing something ridiculous.
Is there anything more infuriating than, like, you see a guy blatantly commit a slide tackle like a slide tackle foul in front of a ref, and he's fighting the ref on it, like, no, I got all ball. Cubo Torres hits the ball with his hand. He's like, yeah, you're good. Yeah, I did it. Yeah,
that's me.
Totally. Yeah,
me. I know. I totally did that. Like, what the fuck, man? That's gotta be. I mean, especially when his replacement comes in and makes as big of an impact as Jackson Conway did. Surely, and you saw the post-game discussion with Heinze where he said, performances out of Chol and Conway, does that kind of change your mindset about their impact or their positioning on the team? And his response was totalmente. So, I mean, surely the writing's got to be on the walls for Cubo Torres, especially right now when this team is going to be without several players, coming into several more players this week with red card accumulation or yellow card accumulation for Sosa, who will be out. And then Mulroney gets the red, which is a whole other topic that we've got to talk about. 2 injuries between Mo Adams and DeJohn. I mean, what is this team going to be, man? Like, if I had question marks going into this Nashville game, I don't even know what I've got going into this next game, with the exception of Jackson Conway sure as shit better be starting over Cubo Torres.
Can I just say how happy I am that we have a striker who has the Theo Von haircut?
Bring it back.
The white trash mullet that
see it.
Oh my God.
Like, I want to see Jackson Conway in that American Atlanta United wavy stripe kit for the troops.
With a pair of hot pants on?
Yes. It looked like
denim hot pants.
Looked like Danny McBride, and what was whatever movie he did with karate?
I mean,
whenever he's doing karate.
Ideally, it's whenever we're playing Inter Miami, and he's going up for a header challenge against Breck Shea in a duel of the mullets in slow-mo. That's all I really need.
Yes. You know what's crazy is like it was a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago. Jackson Conway came in for a few minutes. First touch was a header shot on goal, and then his first touch in this game is maybe it's not the first touch he had against Nashville, but he comes in and he scores exactly how he almost scored at home a few months ago or a few weeks ago. And yeah, I've never understood, and I don't see the training, and I don't know what Heinze puts stock into whenever he sees the players on the pitch, whenever up in Kennesaw, but there had to be something that was telling him Jackson Conway's not ready. But whenever us as fans, we see him finally come in and immediately makes the impact. We're sitting there and probably prisoners of the moment and being like, why hasn't this been the case the entire season? Like, this doesn't make
the opposite for Heinze. He's just going, fuck. I am gonna hear so much shit about this.
Merda. No, I mean, but for real, like, how much of it is that, Dan? Like, I mean, we're looking at it. Obviously, he comes in, scores a goal, and it's revisionist history, right? Or we're trying to rewrite history and blame Heinze for it, but I don't know what you can do at this point.
Yeah, but the other side of the coin is he wasn't ready. And if he would have been brought in against the team we played before, or if he'd have been brought in earlier, maybe he wouldn't be ready. So I think it's better for it to go this way, for having to be subbed in and to see that we've got a legitimate.
Want him to continue to be on the bench.
No.
That's what Dan's saying. Is he wants Kubo to keep starting because it's best for his development.
This is season 2 Bello talk, man.
This is Bello all over again. He hasn't had enough minutes yet, guys.
No, we've been listening to this podcast. I have no love for Kubo Torres or any minutes he's on the field, but I prefer that it happened this way and Conway come in and have a real positive impact than the opposite happened.
I agree.
And I think Heinze doesn't care what the fans think. He's that's partly why I love him. He's just ready to do what he wants to do when he thinks that the team is ready.
Yeah.
Wow. No, I like it. Kendrick Brock is asking if he's trying to get a chewing tobacco sponsorship. I hope so. Get some grizzly long cut wintergreens like a real man. Maybe,
yeah,
or maybe. I guess that's dip. I guess Red Man. He needs some Red Man, I guess. Some chaw.
I feel like Anthony Neitzel's point is the one that I sympathize with. While I agree with you, Dan, that like if Kubo's not ready, you don't want to put him into that position prematurely. But if he's not ready, how's that any different than starting Kubo based on the performance that he's been giving? Because it doesn't seem like Kubo's ready to play either, And it's like, at least you're getting some meaningful reps out of somebody, which is an like you're not getting anything worse than what you're getting out of Kubo at a certain point, And I don't know if that was this week or 2 weeks ago. Like at a certain point, you're splitting hairs, right? Like when that point was, but surely it's now, all things considered, leading up to Nashville. And then with Kubo's play in Nashville, you've got to at least give Conway the benefit of the doubt with the depth challenges that Atlanta's got. If for no other reason, Heinze can say Kubo needs to take some rest. He's been playing too many minutes or something along those lines, just because the performance hasn't been there. And I don't know how Conway's a liability any more than Kubo is at this point,
Yeah. And I mean, Jason Longshore was pointing out that right. He's my secret source. Most people have never heard of him. He was pointing out that when Conway came in, he was making more of those defensive runs that he missed out on against Chicago. So that that awareness from him and that improvement in his game is really going to help him out. And
absolutely,
maybe that was one of the reasons why Heinze was hesitant to put him in. But
that's why everybody on Twitter seemed to be slating him. And I mean, by everybody, I mean like the 20% of people that were siding with Heinze on starting Kubo in Chicago. It was because of Conway somehow not tracking Glesnes on that run whenever he scored that 40-yard banger when, none of our center backs stepped up and we had just subbed out a defensive midfielder. And, anyway, I don't put a ton of stock into what my strikers do defensively, but I may be just missing the plot. I don't know.
Speaking of what strikers are doing defensively, how about what your defenders are doing as strikers, with Anton Walks now having one more goal in regulation than your DP and Ezekiel Barco?
Man.
How ridiculous is that, man? God.
I'm loving Anton Walks. He's just been playing. I mean, how do you unseat him? Like, with the chemistry he's built, with the leadership that he's built on the team. I mean, he got the captain's armband.
Dude, props to him. I mean, well deserved him getting the
captain, my captain. Like, I don't see. Yeah.
How do you unseat him now, especially with all of these injuries? So, I mean, that's the thing now is Franco's competition, provided Franco's healthy, because I think he had an ankle or something, but he was still day to day, but I haven't heard an update that he is ready to go again, unless anybody in the trap knows about Franco's availability. But it seems like Franco's competition now is Campbell.
Yeah.
With DeJohn out, of course.
Mikey Ambrose.
Yeah. It will be interesting to see what happens with him. And then, if he stays this way and really doesn't play this season, it's just going to be interesting to see what we do with him. But he's an interesting one. And Darren Eales went on the radio the other day and said that they're not thinking about buying down Alan Franco from his DP spot, which I thought was really strange. And also makes me a little bit worried about what sort of transfers they're going to be bringing in, because I feel like we need like an impact DP in the attack. So,
which is kind of a side point, which we hadn't mentioned yet, which is that Atlanta did mention a new signing coming in and hopefully will be available this weekend. And speaking of that lack of depth in the midfield, what the fuck is his last name? I can't ever remember.
Romero?
It's Bosnian.
No.
Bezdek?
Yeah.
Wait, what? Is this a new rumor?
No, he's already been confirmed.
He's on the team. We bought him. We picked him up from Montreal.
Yeah.
Oh, Sedic. Yeah. So I was trying to put together a little lineup of what I think. I've got Sedic going in. I think he's probably going to start.
Got to, right? Yeah. I mean, who else are you going to start in the midfield? Exactly. At this point. I mean, especially with Sosa out, like you can't even shift him up. So
you're missing Ibarra. Let's just go through this real quick, dude. This is ridiculous. You're missing Ibarra. You're missing Sosa, obviously just for the suspension. You're missing Hyndman for the entire season. You're missing Mo Adams for another 3 to 4 months. It was, right? Not weeks, right? Months.
3 to 4 months. Yep.
Yeah. What? Yeah, there's not a whole lot you can do. I almost feel like Brooks Lennon is going to need to be deployed into the midfield.
Yeah, so I think Rossetto, Rossetto's back, though I haven't seen confirmed, but I think his injury was not as severe as someone like Ibarra's. So I could potentially see Rossetto. The thing is, he hasn't played. So you're going to put Sedic and Rossetto and Moreno in the midfield?
Yeah. Just it's It's gonna be like it's like CrossFit. It's like muscle confusion. We're just gonna be confusing the other team. It's gonna be who is. It's gonna be like who can figure out what's going on better, the opposing team or us with our midfield.
I mean, that said, all things considered, this past weekend, that draw felt like a win, right? Like, you claw back, and especially considering this lineup right now, this is kind of fun because you don't have any expectations really until some of this roster gets rebuilt, because you're not on B and C squad like we were talking about last week. You're on Toon Squad at this point. Like you're so far out of left field that you're bringing in players from Montreal just to have somebody to put onto the field. Like, it's ridiculous, man. I don't know that anybody can say what's going to happen with this team. And in some ways that's a benefit going into a matchup where I don't think the other team is going to know what to do and what to prepare for, aside from playing Sosa and Lennon, because everybody else is in a different rotation right now.
Well, and Sosa suspended.
Well, exactly.
And so is Jake Mulroney. It's another one we haven't talked about. And unless we appeal, but if the sentiments coming from the podcast of MLS are that was a foul and a red card, I can't imagine the league office is going to be thinking much differently whenever they review it.
So what? How is that the sentiment that was a foul and a red card?
Oh, Andrew Wiebe on the Pringles, Cheez-It, Better Cheddars. Did they get it right? Chicken and a biscuit replay. I don't know. Every time they review the red card or penalty calls from the weekend, it's a different snack food from the cracker aisle, and I'm trying to keep up. I'm
trying to get on that. How do we get on that kind of money, man?
So Max plays game, says Wiebe took a look and said foul, but not a red. So immediately that opinion is invalidated, right? Because it was supposed to be a dog, so right? It was the reason it was a red.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I don't know. I know the argument is that Sosa could have gotten to it, but he's on the left side, and if he would have cut to the right, I don't think Sosa would have been able to get to it. But at the same time, Mulroney didn't foul him. Like, I don't understand. I don't know if Wiebe's trying to be a contrarian and trying to draw up some backlash from the Atlanta fans, which is good for clicks and it's good for views. But I just don't know why the hell that was a foul.
But that's what they do, isn't it? They just say stupid stuff to get.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what we all do, right? That's what we've been doing for years.
Like when Mike Conti called him an idiot.
He called Andrew Wiebe an idiot?
Yeah, and Andrew Wiebe got a lot of traction out of that. He knows how to play the social media game. Yeah,
he does. Yeah. And Wiebe's great. Like we've talked to him. I think we had him on whenever we did the All-Star game a couple years ago here at the Soccer in the Streets. But I can't say how wrong he is. Like it was one of the worst. I don't know, man. Like it was not a foul. Like he came from in front. Sorry. I'm livid and I'm trying to piece together, I have too many thoughts going on. It wasn't a foul. He was coming from in front of him. He didn't drive through him. He got the ball. It was a safe play. Like I don't understand how that was how that was a foul, let alone a red card.
Agreed.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. I mean, the only thing is is it the angle that the ref saw it at, but then the VAR.
Well, that's what VAR's for. Like I don't.
Well, I know. Yeah, I mean that's what the VAR's for. I mean, to correct the calls, but it's like one of them messed up. Like if it was the ref on the center or the VAR, one of them is.
If anything, really... I think red for Kubo, yellow for Jake. Right? Like that's what's throwing me off. Is that Kubo Torres gets a yellow for a deliberate handball inside the box. Like but Jay Mulroney gets an instant red. Like that makes no sense to me whatsoever. Outside the box, ball going away from goal, another defender in the vicinity to make a play, gets reviewed, and the play, like the call stands. That makes no sense to me whatsoever.
I have no idea what a foul is, to be honest with you, with the way these things get called. I just have no idea.
Yeah.
It seems like it changes every week.
PRO is not a very I do not have trust in their quality as referees. I think you see better refereeing whenever we do get the FIFA guys in, whether that's Elfath or the other guy's name escapes me. I feel like there are only a handful that actually referee MLS games, but it was just, I don't know, man. It was very bad. It was just it lost us the game, right? I mean, maybe didn't lose us the game, but potentially. It was 2-2 at that point already, right?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really see us coming back to score another one.
It was pretty late at that point too.
After
Wasn't
that,
it like the 70th or something like that?
Yeah. Here, I'm going to try
that?
and put it up.
So I was about to do too.
Yeah, it was the 74th minute. Yeah, Conway had scored in the 59th, and
but then it was all Nashville. It had been all Nashville before then. Then afterwards it kind of tied down, but then after the red card they bunched it up. But we didn't have like another chance until like the 88th minute or something like that. But
the fact that 6 of Nashville's goals got called back was a blessing. Jesus.
Yeah, they've they've had a lot of luck. I mean, it is what you make it of it, but the home leg that we had in the Bends, that was luck that they got 2 goals to get that. So
I don't know. You say that's luck. I say that's the front office really hitting on a signing like Hani Mukhtar. So you look at our DPs and I look at them and their first DP. I think was he the first DP they signed, or maybe Walker Zimmerman's on as a DP too. But you look at that and it's just like they hit so well so early. Granted, we did too, but with our first 3 DPs. But damn,
my point was like because one of the goals at the Bends that Nashville scored, it was just like a weird. I think it was a deflection off Miles Robinson.
Oh yeah, you're right.
And it was just a weird, like it just was a gift for Mukhtar, and he didn't have to do much to bang it home. But
that other goal, though, that tight turn in the box to put it opposite net in the Bends, that was not luck.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
No.
So.
Nashville's good. Noisy neighbors. I mean, they did that without Walker Zimmerman against us too.
What do you think about Soccer Moses?
Soccer Moses. I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I want to see like a Jake Paul type boxing event, and we got to put together Soccer Moses versus Rev United. I think we do that. Do they have an equivalent to like Santa Claus? Do they have like a Krampus? Is there a Nashville Krampus?
You know what's been really disappointing to me? It sounds so plastic and it's so true because it didn't bother me until somebody else did it. Was how unoriginal so many of Atlanta United's chants are and how blatantly obvious it is whenever you hear all of them through the Nashville fan base or Chicago fan base on TV. And it's just like, even down to the Viking clap with Nashville this past weekend, I was like, damn it!
Yeah.
Infuriating.
Yeah. I mean, you've got to activate the fan base quickly somehow. You know.
I know.
Yeah, that's whenever we first started because Angie used to go and watch Red Bulls games all the time up in whenever she was living in Brooklyn, and whenever we started, we were at the games. I was like, how do you know all these songs? How do you know all the chants already? It's the same. It's all recycled. It's why like I take it with a grain of salt whenever I see other fans talking about that. They're like, "Oh, you guys are so unoriginal." It's like, okay, yeah. I mean, you guys are doing the exact same thing that we did, or that the other teams do. And there's everybody's got like probably one chant that's maybe original, and then everything else I feel like is all recycled.
Yeah,
I'll just throw it into a pot and just like grab what you want.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that because the real cool stuff came out of the fan base, like the murals for Joseph and the things like that have been those supporters groups like organically putting some together. And I mean, they've tried, you'll see Resurgence trying to put new songs on Twitter, though. We get drunk every day. Come on, guys, that's kind of lame. But the tifos and stuff, the tifos have been really, really good, and that's all from the fan base. That's got no Atlanta United marketing team in it.
No, yeah, no, absolutely,
yeah. So good point, Elliot Beavan. Marino played better in the middle. I like Marino in the middle. That's why I want a winger. But so who do you think is going to start, Joseph or Conway on Saturday?
Is Joseph healthy enough, you think, to play? Is he ready?
Has he cleared quarantine?
He should have cleared quarantine by then. And I haven't heard. I remember last week he was training by himself. So
has he been symptomatic, or has he been completely asymptomatic?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think it's just like he caught it. But he hasn't been symptomatic at all. But I still think he had to have 2 weeks of quarantine anyway coming back from.
He had enough viral download to test positive.
Oh man, yeah, so much.
If he's cleared to play, Joseph's got to get the start, I would think.
Yeah, we've got to get as many minutes as we can for him.
Yeah,
I'm with Kendrick though. My question was more so about his fitness. Let alone like not so much like whether or not he's out of quarantine or anything like that. It's just if he's fit at all to like match.
He's got to be fit to at least play for a half. I'm not saying he's got to play for a full 90, but he's certainly got to get the start to get the engine going, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, it's the only way you get match fit is play matches.
Right.
So I would imagine that, he's our DP. You want him on the field when he's available.
Yeah.
So, that's what I would assume. And then you see how he goes. And then if he needs to get subbed on for Conway, then that's fine.
Yeah.
But I think if Joseph's ready, Conway doesn't unseat him.
Yeah. Yeah. Joseph was on a boat like yesterday. I don't know if he's quite ready to go. 1 to 10. How worried are you about number 7? I'm not sure I understand what that means.
How worried am I?
100. But about number 7, meaning who? Who's number 7?
1 to 10. How worried are you about number 7? So I'm just gonna say I'm worried about him getting back to his former self.
Unless he's talking about Gustavo Bo. Oh, he's talking about Joseph.
I was like, what? Yeah, that's what I was like. Why are you?
I mean, because I'm worried about Gustavo Bo. I'm always worried about him anytime we play New England. But
Gustavo Bell, Carlos Heel, they got a couple of guys. Thank God Matt Turner's on international duty.
Yeah, I'm not worried about him.
I'm worried that he will never attain his form. I'm worried he's never going to get back to.
I don't think he's going to either, but that doesn't concern me. I guess like I still think out of a 10 out of a 10, 2018 Joseph, if he's scoring 26 goals instead of 32, still really fucking good, and I would take that over what we got right now any day.
Oh, absolutely. But I argue that he's found his former self if he's scoring that many goals.
Yeah.
I worry that he's just going to be like, he may not break double digits. That's what I'm worried about. Yeah.
I don't know about that.
You heard it first. Dan wants to sell Joseph. He wants to sell him immediately.
Apparently.
Cash in while he can. Yeah. It's
well, he hasn't got the minutes, right?
Yeah, it's true.
Minutes.
It's very true. It's very
true. He
needs
to have some more time with the twos. He needs to prove himself.
That's right. What time with the twos?
Another thing we didn't talk about from Thursday night's game was the renewed argument of Alec Kann getting the starting job in goal.
Well, if Brad Guzan's on 810,000 a year and Alec Can's on what, 300,
like 35 grand maybe.
I mean, there's an argument for. I mean, Guzan, he's in his last year of his contract. I feel like this could really be Guzan's last year. I will be surprised.
I wouldn't mind seeing a can Rocco Novo line up in goal with those two back there, and because Can isn't going to have more than a couple of years at this point either, right? And
guys, we've made it happen. The public perception, at least that I'm seeing in the small sample size in the trap, is that Alec Can as the option.
Yes, we've made it.
but Dan is really coming at it from a pragmatic standpoint from the salary cap. I don't know how much of that really does hit our cap and how much. But
in terms of
grand is, yeah.
But I mean, it could free up some TAM. That's the thing, though. I mean, Can is on 115,000.
Good grief.
And Alec and Guzan's on 805,000. So
you could buy another Alan Franco with that kind of money, with that kind of salary cap.
You could buy 2 Alan Francos with that.
I like Kendrick Brock. The front office is going to waste that $800K anyway.
Yeah, that's true. Guys, I don't know how to pronounce the guy's name. I'm just going to call him Thomas Dimitrov, the guy who took over for
Terry Fontenot?
No, is it Dimitrios Efthethau? Efthethau? I don't know how to pronounce his name.
It's Hosetu.
It's Bijalpa. Bijalpa. But yes, I don't know. It's going to be interesting for him. Interesting for him to step into the player acquisition duties that Bocanegra was all but relieved of. So
seems like he continues to have his role diminished in some capacity over the past couple of years, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. I looked at that list of stuff that he's responsible for, and part of me is like, I kind of feel like
too much.
I was like, I think he had too much on his plate.
Maybe that's why this is happening.
Yeah.
I think it's Dimitrios Estathio.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Estathio.
But it's EFTS.
Yeah,
Estathio.
Yeah.
I wonder what the etymology of that last name is.
It's probably Greek, right?
But it doesn't end with. But yes, Dimitrios. You would think so, I guess. But the last name doesn't end in an S. That's what gives. But it messes with my head.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I wrote down a lineup, and this I don't even know who to put in this. I was writing down the midfield. I'm like, I don't know who to put here. But why not start Conway and Joseph together?
Why not?
Is there an argument against just a traditional 4-4-2 that we're without like our normal like anchor in the midfield and Sosa, and we're without legitimate winger? I don't know. I'd say that we're without legitimate wingers, but could you? So this is going to sound crazy. I have Joseph, Jackson Conway up front. I have from left to right in the midfield. I don't know, because I'm not a tactician. Just left to right, it's flat. I just have Chol, Moreno, Sadic. Is that how you pronounce it, Dan?
Yeah.
And then Lennon. So I guess I like what I see out of Chol as a winger. I think that he's fast. He's kind of imposing too.
Mm-hmm.
And on that back four, I have, I guess, Ambrose. But Franco, we don't know if he's healthy or not, right? So it's probably Ambrose, Campbell, Walks, and Hernandez, and then Cannon and goal, right? I don't know.
Yeah, I think that
guess
back line
Tyler
is,
Wolf, yeah.
I think that back line is Ambrose, Walks, Campbell, and Lennon, as you were saying, Tim. And then, so you could, and then if you did Sadic, Wolf, and Moreno in the middle, and then I got Lopez. Okay, so I'm going to go Chol on the right, Joseph in the middle, and then you could have your choice of Wolf, Lopez, or Conway on the left. and that could go either way.
Mm.
So you could get him in there, but if he's a young guy, he seems to have only played center forward. If you play him on either side as a winger, are you gonna?
Yeah.
What does that do?
But also, what's up with Eric Lopez right now? Is he coming back from a knock too? Is there a reason we didn't see him on Thursday? Because he was in the 18 or not 18, whatever it was that we fielded. What do we have, a 16 on? No, I guess we had a full 18 for some reason.
That's a better question. Who's going to be the subs? We've got enough players for a roster, but I don't know if we have enough for a full 18.
Yeah, I don't know either. We're going to be calling some boys up from the twos, filling out that bench. Going up against the
62s and 71s on the field.
Yeah, it's going to be like preseason. It's going to be fantastic. But this time we're going up against the top team in the East and not Birmingham Legion. So I really don't know.
I mean, I guess you do have Kubo. That would be on the bench.
No, yeah, on the bench at the Greyhound station, getting his ass out of Atlanta.
You know what's going to happen? He's going to end up being Joseph's sub. That's what's going to happen.
I fucking riot.
That's what's going to happen.
I riot if Kubo gets brought on for Joseph, if Conway's not on the field at the same time as Joseph, I riot. Actually, no. I probably will not be watching the game on Saturday, but yeah, that would be very unfortunate if that happened.
Yeah. I saw a lot of people saying that the team against Nashville looked a lot better without our star players in it, which is
that's because nobody knows how to play us. It's the NXT
right,
Puerto Rico, man.
Yeah.
So, it's just like whenever you have like a flame-throwing left-hander pitcher that comes into the league and then they don't know how to deal with them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then like next year, like he wins 20 games, strikes out a shitload of people, and he has like a really awkward delivery, and then the next season everybody's fine. They're just cranking it out of the yard on them. Yeah. We just got to keep confusing them.
Like Jeremy Lin?
Yeah.
Because when he came in, nobody knew how to defend him, but then they eventually figured him out, and then he just became another guy in the NBA, right?
Yeah.
I say that like just another guy in the NBA. I mean, there's no chance in hell.
It's like Johnny Manziel. Like Johnny Manziel destroyed college football, and NFL had a year to watch him, like 2 years to watch him whenever he's coming in. They're like, we're gonna eat this guy's lunch.
Same thing with RG3. You see it all the time, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're gonna break him.
Literally, though. Like one of them from a mental standpoint, the other from a physical standpoint. Yeah. But they got you covered. We'll ruin you one way or the other because football is it's a hellhole. I don't know.
Ingest 100 says, I like Conway, but he will not fit with Joseph. That's interesting.
Yeah. Elliot Bevan saying Tim Tebow might be available to throw into the lineup.
I hear he's playing tight end now. I don't think he's available.
No, I'm just kidding. He's talking about people figuring out Tim Tebow.
I did see he was wasn't he doing camp for tight end or something recently?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Urban Meyer signed him as a tight end.
That's what I thought. Yeah. Down at Jaguars.
Yeah. Parceros United saying Joseph can play off of Conway. I don't know. I feel like a 2-striker lineup is so rare these days, and I may be crazy. I don't know. I feel like it's either you have wingers in a holding midfielder or a holding striker, number 9, what have you. But like I don't know. I feel like you never see the two strikers really going at it together up there.
Well, it's with you see it in the press when you've got a goal kick and they just have more guys trying to press you immediately. So, Philadelphia, I want to say New England as well. Yeah. Nashville have Mukhtar and Sapong up top. There's a couple of teams in MLS that play 2 strikers. It depends just, how you get service to them and then how much can they press from the front? Because, if you bypass those, you're bypassing two guys instead of one.
Yeah. Chiefs coach Steve is saying a 3-5-2, but we don't have three center backs right now. Like Alan Franco is, if he's healthy, maybe we could deploy a three in the back.
I think it's a 2-1-1-1-1-1-1.
Yep, I like it.
Yeah, I mean, you've got that's an interest. I mean, is there anybody you could put in the third center back? You've got Walks, Campbell,
Franco, if he's
Josh
healthy.
Bauer. I mean, you're going to start Josh Bauer and have Bryce Washington on the bench. Wow, we are just.
Did you say Jack Bauer?
Yeah,
Josh Bauer.
Got 24 hours to win this thing, man.
He is our designated survivor.
That's right. Yeah, fisheries and gaming.
Oh boy, yeah, this lineup is thin.
Yeah, it's pretty. I mean, yeah, who do you put on the bench? It's right back, Brooks Lennon. Hernandez. So go to center back. Franco's injured. Robinson's out. DeJohn's injured. Campbell maybe. Josh Brown maybe.
Do we own the rights to any players that we can call back?
Well, that's the thing. We've got guys playing in the twos on MLS contracts. So we could
bring back Fernando Meza.
That's what I'm saying.
They agreed to keep him at defensa through the end of the season. I don't know if we can do that.
What about Efren Morales? Bring in a 17-year-old.
LGP's rights? Or do we sell his rights too?
Well, I think because Miami hold them.
Damn.
Because they bought him from Tijuana. But Efren Morales,
this front office.
I think Morales is injured.
He's also only 17, but he's a 6'3" 17-year-old. I like the sounds of that from a future perspective at center back. There'd be an imposing figure.
I know there's definitely going to be an interesting lineup this weekend. Unless Rossetto can come in.
What? This is a perfect nickname, Gorge Campbell instead of George Campbell. That's what they call me when they go to the sushi buffet. They call me Gorge Campbell.
So they call me at CC's, baby. Oh shit, Gorge Campbell's here.
Oh, sweet. We got our first Twitch comment. We can buy followers. Sweet. You guys
sweet. G Snowball 355 want to become famous? Buy followers, primes, and viewers on some link. Guess I'll click on that right now.
Bigfollows.com.
Yeah. I'd start joking, but with our luck, our internet would actually go out.
All right, Chaz Bogan, what are yours predicted lineups for this weekend?
You missed it.
Yeah.
You missed it. Phallic formation.
Whatever those guys said.
Yeah, I think obviously counting goal, Ambrose, Walks, Campbell, Lennon, then Sejdic, and either Wolf or Rossetto. I would think Wolf though, because you want to play Sejdic. Rossetto is probably still injured. No, in our luck, he's probably injured. And then Wolf, then you've got at least somebody who has some experience with the team in a match setting. So, and then I've actually got a 4-2-3-1. So Sejdic and Wolf at the back, and then Chol, Marino, and either Lopez, and that's it. Chol, Marino, Lopez in the mid three, and then Joseph up top.
I think Lopez is probably the more likely start over Conway, personally.
Yeah. I mean, it would be interesting to see how Joseph and Conway play together, whether they can, whether Alec can. But, you see Joseph dropping back a little bit more, trying to, playing that sort of false nine role, trying to link up play. And maybe that gives Conway a chance to push forward. So maybe at that point, maybe if you do this, if you put Moreno on the wing, which is not the greatest, put Joseph in the middle, Chol on the right, and Conway up top. That's probably not going to happen, but you could see something like that happen during the game.
Yeah. Parceros United, are we still blaming Heinze for results? I may have missed when y'all discussed that. We actually still blame Pity Martinez.
Yeah.
It's a problem. It rolls over.
Is Ron just trolling us? Have we been blaming Heinze for results?
I think, Kevin says Heinze out like every podcast. I feel like we need to stop prefacing that he's joking. Like, it's not real.
Chaz, I have a much less, probably not the right lineup, but I like it. I like my lineup. I think I could win with this in FIFA. I don't know. I got flat 4-4-2. Got Ambrose, Campbell, Walks, Hernandez, and then up above that, Chol, Moreno, Sadic, Lennon, and then Joseph and Conway.
You guys got all the parts and pieces there. I think it's going to be some combination of those. Honestly, I think I would be more concerned about the combination between Chol and Joseph than I would be of Conway and Joseph. Chol has tended to play a little further up on the field and test those back lines and try to, especially not so much against Nashville, but the week prior, he was consistently, trying to push aggressively. He had a couple of offside calls as a result of that. If he's doing what Joseph wants to do, I could see them starting to get in each other's way more so than Conway naturally playing a little bit more back and being able to distribute to Joseph. So just my thoughts.
Dan, we got 4 minutes for the Dan load. Is that enough time for the Dan load?
From what I hear, he doesn't need that long. With 4 minutes, you get 4 kits.
4 minutes, you get 2 downloads. Oh, England still lost. Yeah, so New England, the number 1 in the East on 24 points. Last 5 games, they went on a tear 8 games ago, winning 5 in a row against Columbus, the hated Red Bulls, Cincinnati, New York City, Red Bulls, and then they lost to FC Dallas, which is bizarre because FC Dallas have been complete. I mean, they've not been great. They've had awful results. So that was a surprise. Then they drew with Columbus Crew, and then they lost to Toronto at home, which was very bizarre because Toronto were coming off that 7-1 loss from DC United. However, I think Jefferson Saltaldo scored the first goal for Toronto in that game, and it was just a complete error on, I think it was Knighton, who was the goalkeeper. He basically got a pass back to him, where it headed back. He went down to either pick it up or control it, and Saltaldo just picked his pocket and just banged it in. So it was a very fluky goal. And they scored 3 goals in the first 25 minutes. I think they just kept on applying the pressure, unlike England, and was able to get 3 goals. And then in the second half, New England just came back and got 2. They almost got back to 3, but they couldn't. It was too big of a hill to climb. So this is going to be, I'm glad that we're playing New England at home. We do pretty good against New England at home. I mean, I every now and then I'll watch that 7-0 thrashing that they gave them. I think Yamil Astad scored the 5th or 6th goal, and even after that, at that point in time, he was still like, yes! He was just loving life. Tactically, New England, they love a counterattack and aerial duels. Those are their their strong points. They're strong attacking pieces, shooting from direct free kicks, attacking down the wings, creating chances using through balls, finishing scoring chances, coming back from losing positions, creating scoring chances, and defending set pieces. So, I mean, there's a lot they do right. I mean, like we said earlier, Carlos Gil and Gustavo Bo, I mean, those 2 guys have been playing lights out. I think Carlos Gil just signed his contract extension with New England. Some weaknesses. So obviously keeping possession of the ball, but that's fine. We will just keep possession of the ball, but that hasn't stopped teams in the past. Stopping opponents from creating chances. Yep, we're not great at creating chances. Protecting a lead. Up until recently, I guess we've had a couple of games this season where we've come from behind, at Seattle. That was a good one. And against Nashville as well. I don't think we've talked enough about Jackson Conway's header where he would just fade it away and then was able to put it back in the net from, I think it was it Moreno's corner or Lennon's corner? Either way, doesn't matter. Defending against long shots, we don't have many of those anyway, and avoiding individual errors, which was interesting because I just cited an individual error, but thank God Mac Turner's not going to be there, though the way things seem to go for Atlanta United is it doesn't matter who's in goal, whether they have... in fact, the weaker goalkeepers seem to have better performances against us, which is really annoying, just like when the Falcons are at home and we're coming up against like a rookie QB or a bad QB. They always have like the game of their careers, which is really frustrating. I would present to you Geno Smith when Rex Ryan outcoached Mike Smith in the Georgia Dome. So New England like to control the game in the opposition's half, like to attempt crosses. They're non-aggressive. Yeah, we'll see how non-aggressive they are. Atlanta's the most fouled team, as we know, though Barco. So they'll probably just be fouling Moreno. And opponents play aggressively against them. I think Sadic could be a really interesting guy in this lineup against New England. I have heard that Sadic is more of a technical ball player. He didn't get as many minutes with Montreal Impact than we'd have liked, but I think he's a legit good player who would provide a good depth piece because of his technical skill. And he's a really good passer of the ball. So that's obviously someone who infallible front office is going to be looking for to get a really good deal on. I don't know. 1-1. I'll go with a 1-1.
1-1. I will say I had the score prediction correct for the England game, just the wrong orientation. But you guys both picked up a point with England's win. Tim.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Whenever we did score predictions for the England-Denmark game, and I said who won Denmark.
Yeah.
Oh, what did we pick for Nashville?
Nashville. Tim had 2-0 Nashville. Dan had 2-0 Nashville. I had 2-1 Nashville with Chol goal.
Yeah.
Chol goal?
Chol goal. Tim, I'll go ahead and say mine. I think Atlanta has somehow avoided a major blow-up game. And I think this is the game that it happens in. And I think it's going to be 4-1 New England.
Okay.
With Moreno scoring.
Okay, so 2 weeks. 2 weeks out of losing 3-0 to Chicago. Okay, great. Because 3-0's not major enough for us to lose.
I think it's going to be way worse.
Okay, cool.
I think it's going to be way worse.
I think we get a Jackson.
Way worse.
Way worser.
No,
yeah.
Way worser. It's way worse. Way worser.
I say Jackson Conway gets a hat trick and we win 3-1.
Oh shit.
And then Joseph goes and takes a Sharpie and he draws flames where on the side of Conway's head.
The good news is we have all results covered in our predictions between a New England win, an Atlanta win, and a draw. So somebody is going to pick up points this week, which is nice.
Wow. You think we're going to lose 4-1?
Yeah, I do.
I mean, if that happens, I'm just going to have to delete my Twitter
account.
I think it's going to be a bloodbath out there.
Richard Gordon.
Atlanta, one of those offside calls on Mukhtar, he was pretty far offside. But the other ones were pretty damn close. And that game could have easily been 4-2 this past weekend, I think. I don't think that game was as close as the score said it was. And I think that New England's a better team.
against Nashville. You don't think it was as close? Interesting.
You're gonna go over the predictions in the trap, Kevin.
Yeah. So Elliot Beaven, Atlanta 2-1 can scores. Kendrick Brock 3-1 Atlanta Jackson Conway with the hat trick as well. Brittany S 2-1 Atlanta in just 100. 2-1 Kubo scores with his hand. Chiefs coach Steve, Tim is drunk. Richard Gordon 1-0 Atlanta on a PK. Kendrick Brock justifiably saying that Tim is just copying him. Chaz Bogan, New England is going to Brazil us. Max plays games. Revs might still be salty about that 7-goal match a few years ago. Chiefs coach Steve, 2-0 bad guys. And one last comment from Max Plays Games. If Jackson Conway gets a hat trick and we beat the Revs, I'll finally get my Atlanta United tattoo. Yeah, well, Kelly Francis said 18 months ago she was going to get a tattoo. I'm sick of these stupid little things. It's like, if this happens, I'm going to do this. Anna Ball's over here saying, I'm going to dye my hair blonde, and he does it every 6 months anyway. Nobody cares. Just dye it blonde, dude. Just keep it blonde. What does it matter? Just keep it blonde. We know you want to dye it blonde, Annie. Just dye it blonde, bro.
Speaking of which, he got his Twitter account taken away.
So what's Max's tattoo going to be of Jackson Conway?
That's going to be the Home Before Dark logo. If it happens, you have to get the Home Before Dark logo. That's a fucking bet, my friend. If Jackson Conway scores a hat trick and Atlanta wins, it's a Home Before Dark tattoo.
Surely Max is not stupid enough to go for that. In the trap, he's saying, Okay, he said, all right, sounds good. Okay, so he's in. So Jackson Conway, you heard it first, scores a hat trick.
I'm sorry.
Oh my God, if this happens,
I'm
gonna lose my shit.
I bet.
And it has to be done by the three of us.
Oh,
you
no,
don't
man.
no,
No.
I'm out.
No,
I'm out. I'm joking.
I'm out.
I'm out.
I don't want to be sued for blood poisoning.
I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, but Max, if you got that done and tweeted it at Jackson Conway, you would get some screen time with that.
Joke's on you. He's not starting. Conway's not playing.
Yeah, you're probably right. But what if I got Heinze? I need a translator. I need to let Heinze know of this deal.
All right. No, that sounds good. Anything else, guys?
Check out Smoke Wagon Bourbon if you haven't. Kev, have you tried the Smoke Wagon?
I haven't.
Quit talking about your smoke wagon, Dan.
You would really enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's smooth. It's not so harsh. I've seen it around for a fair few amount of places. About $40, so it's not that bad. I'd say it's like Eagle Rare in terms of the smoothness, but it's more of like a caramel toffee sort of flavor.
Okay. I got a bottle of Elijah Craig Toasted coming into town this weekend. I'm excited to try. So
did you ever try your 18-year Elijah Craig? And was it just like sex?
You'll have to come over and try it. We'll do the full thing. We'll pour regular Elijah Craig.
I'm assuming that was for sex. And
exactly. We're gonna do the full thing, dude.
Just wanted to verify,
Yeah, no, we're doing the whole thing. Just go with it.
I want to know what my options are.
Yeah, you made the bet. Now you've got to do it. So, that's Dim's the rules. So you come over, we'll do the whole thing.
Can someone please clip that?
So funny.
Come over,
story.
we'll do the whole thing.
When I met Kevin at this.
Somebody just sign off of AIM?
I don't know. We met Kevin at this. We met Kevin. I met Kevin at the first job I had in Atlanta, and we started on the same day. And we ended up going to get lunch together. And I think it was the first time I drove in his car, so I'd probably known him for like 3 or 4 weeks in a professional setting. And we're about to get on the elevator, and Kevin said, "I'm driving, so you get roadhead."
Sounds right. Checks out.
Funny. But I mean, he always has Maroon 5 playing in his car every single time.
That's the mood, man.
That's
Gets the people going.
Give the people what they want, Dan.
All right.
Kendrick says, just like Sex for Dan means it only lasts 30 seconds. Hey, you've got no basis for that. I said it lasted 2 minutes earlier. He still has the rule. Oh, the Roadhead. Yeah.
No, the Maroon 5.
Maroon 5, yeah. All right. You can find us all on Twitter collectively. Try to guess who's tweeting and when. At Home Before Dark. That's before spelled B and the number 4. Each one of us on separate yet different yet the same platforms. Tim, Instagram, where are you at?
You can find me at my name, Tim Herb. But you guys can also find me. I got accepted to the Candler Park Fall Fest. So I'm going to be I'm going to have a woodworking booth out at Candler Park Fall Fest for those 2 days in October. So those of you guys who are local, I know we've still got plenty of time to pump it up, but come make plans to come see us.
Dan, what about you?
You can find me at DNJMS on Twitter, or you can come ride the old bicycle bike with me on Peloton to the Power of Dan.
Come ride the smoke wagon with Dan.
Come ride the smoke wagon.
Come ride Dan's smoke wagon at the Power of Dan.
Find me on Instagram at the architect. That's at the _ARC number 1 TECT. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. However you found us on YouTube, iTunes, whatever podcatcher you listen to. Thank you so much. Be sure to like, subscribe, leave a rating or review, and most of all, please tell a friend. We'll see you next time. As always, be home before dark.
Just like the owner, the Robert Kraft loves the massage parlors, so I'm sure he'll have a great time when he comes to Atlanta.